Good morning. Welcome back to Morning at NTV. My name is Malaki Bilaudera. Now today on the Solutions segment, we'll be taking over the conversation that Andrew Chamagero was having with you on ground and just trying to find out solutions on how we can safeguard our children from being tortured by our aides, by our home care helpers. And so in studios, I have an expert, Madam Farida Nabukenya, who is the CEO of Home Aids Services. Thank you so much for making time.
You're most welcome.
This issue of us waking up to the fact that it is true that children are being tortured came from 2014 when we had that story of this nanny who was beating up a toddler, and the video went viral. Of course, it's what you're seeing on your screens, and apparently she was held by police, found guilty, went to serve 4 years in prison, but after that, after she reformed, was released. But this brought the message home to many parents that it is happening. As much as we think that couldn't be happening, that we're safe, but it is happening. So as an expert, today we want you to teach us how to go about this, because women now can say we'll stop going to work and stay at home to take care of our children. We need help. But how then do we go about this process, the due diligence? Where do we start?
Thank you very much, Madam. Like you mentioned, my name is Farida from Home Aids Services. We are an expert in recruiting nannies, and regarding that issue of doing a thorough due diligence, we really get down to the grassroots. Where is this person coming from? The village, the LC, the parents, the next of kin, and then before you recruit somebody, you have to get some referrals from people. How has this person been behaving? Because this torturing of children is not a one-day thing. Somebody doesn't wake up, so you find that this person is actually very violent. So you have to make sure, find out, because all this information is there if you're really, really into knowing about these people. So besides that, you have to look at the way these people conduct themselves. You realize that most mothers, I would say working women, once they bring in a nanny at home, they would totally neglect their responsibilities. They know, now I've brought somebody home, so I have to pass on my responsibility. You have to be very, very vigilant with these people. What is this person doing? What is their response in case of any problem? How do they conduct themselves? You find that people are do pretend a lot. So when you're around, they pretend to be so good, and then when you're away, you find that it's totally another person.
So when you speak of due diligence, of course you say that you have to get it through referrals, you also have to go through the LC, but what other things and factors should a mother look into before employing this nanny, so to speak?
Mother should first look at the past experience, whether this person has worked before. You can't find that most people go to look for jobs, not that they want to do the job, but because they need the income. Yet actually, in reality, this is not a caretaker. So you have to find out, this person could be, probably they've been working in the forces, and they're actually not compassionate about people. So just because the situation at hand entails them to work, they need the money, so they will just go there. So a mother should really, really find out, where have this person been? This person might not tell you, but try to find out where these people have come from. They have family, they have relatives. Even in the village where they stay, they can tell you this person has been notorious. So don't neglect that. All that information you get is very vital. Here, when they come to present themselves for a job, oh, they're so good. But when it comes to reality, when you go and do a thorough reference check, they're not actually that good.
Is it important also to take them through health checkups?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We at Home Aids, actually, we encourage to do health checkups. For example, HIV, hepatitis, high blood pressure, tuberculosis, all those things deter somebody's performance. Usually most of them come when they're on medication, and they will never tell you that. But if you do your independent screening, you get to find out, because once these people are sick, of course you're putting your family to risk. They'll never tell you. And then besides, it's going to affect somebody's performance.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. When it comes to the issue of still due diligence, because I know this is where we fall short as mothers many a times, is it important also to just get someone who has had a child, someone who is a mother as well? Does it help?
Well, it doesn't really matter, because even a mother can still abuse their own child. So you have to really do a due diligence, because most mothers actually, they've left the children to go and find the job. Most of them didn't want to be mothers at times. Probably circumstances forced them to be mothers. So it's got to do with a personality issue. You have to really see this, is this, because not everybody is compassionate with children. Not anybody is really, they want to work. You find that it's just the condition that is forcing them to work.
And what's the acceptable age?
Ideally, it should be 18 years and above.
18 years?
Yes, 18 years, because if you look at the Ugandan laws, I mean, below 18, that is child labor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to look at somebody, because we believe somebody who is above 18 years has a sober and mature mind. They know what they're doing. They really they want what they're going to do. So you're not forcing them into something they don't want.
Okay, because most of the times we think that still an 18-year-old is not in a full capacity to take care of a young toddler, a young child. So 18 years is okay.
Yes, 18 years is okay, and looking after, because we've seen, like in the villages, mothers leave their children with about 5 years, 8 years, 9 years. They look after the siblings. So how about an 18-year-old? So it's got to do with the one's willingness to work and the attitude towards work. And then, of course, we the mothers, what is your responsibility? Don't just bring me in your house today and don't show me what to do. So you might have so much expectations, but you've not shown me what to do. Okay. So you have to take me through, like any other job. You have to be given orientation towards any job. But we realize that people are not oriented. So in the end, they end up not performing. And you're like, oh my God, this person doesn't know what to do. But you have actually not endeavored to show them what to do. Even with children, everybody knows there is a way they want to handle their children. It doesn't mean how I handle my child is how you handle your child. Right. So you have to really orient me. Show me exactly what you expect out of me.
So once you bring them home, take time with them. Exactly. Train them on how you want your things done.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes. All right. Yes. There's this other notion that I hear talks of amongst ladies and mothers, if it's important really to inspect the bags of these nannies when they come into your home. Most of them are very skeptical about it. They say that that's someone's privacy. You don't have to get in there and inspect what they have. So as an expert, would you advise, is it important to just inspect the bag of the nanny when they come to your home for the first time?
Well, it would be very good, such that, because now, like us at Home Aids, we exactly know what you have gone with. But that one is a little bit tricky as well. In the process, someone can bring in something. So it's hard. You can't say, I've inspected the bags before she came in. Then in the due course, she can buy something. She can do anything with her bags. Okay? So I would request, by the way, to inspect the bags before, much as you're infringing on somebody's privacy. But the thing is that you have to, such that you know what's in that bag. Well, it also depends on what you're looking out for, because you might look out for maybe like weapons, maybe like funny drugs, look at the person's clothes they're going to wear, because us at Home Aids, we really emphasize decency. So you can't find that this person has come and they're all dressing so indecently. Of course, you have to let your bosses know what exactly you're going to put on, or how are you going to conduct yourself, what exactly do you have in there. Okay. Yes. All right.
So you said orientation is important.
Very important.
All these other things that come into play, but also the other major thing is the relationship between the employer and the nanny.
Very, actually, we always encourage to have a very good relationship. The thing is that some homes, when you talk of, excuse me, a maid, this is somebody who is supposed to be the back of the kitchen. Yet this person is looking after your most precious person, that is your children. They're preparing your food. They're actually managing your entire home. They're in charge of your life, I would say. But this person comes and they really treat them so badly. There's no relationship. Somebody comes and says, I can't even say hi to my maid. I can't even talk to my maid. I mean, this person has spent practically 18 hours with your little child. Why wouldn't you talk to her? Why would you treat her so badly? Yet they're practically handling your life. Most mothers don't look at that. We always emphasize, please try. You might not be best of friends, but try and create that very good relationship. Because if you have a relationship, this maid will not lie to you. They will develop trust.
But there's also a thin line between that, because I've had mothers who said that I've tried my best, I've been the best friend, I've tried to, you know, have a good relationship with my nannies, but at the end of the day, they take that for weakness. So where do you draw the line between being nice and trying to brew this relationship between the nanny and still being professional, in that you can still call them out when you feel that they're not doing something right? How do you make sure that, fine, you're a friend to this nanny, but you don't, you know, cross the line? Because most of them take that for granted and end up, you know, taking you for granted as well and taking their job for granted.
The thing is that, first of all, like I told you, during orientation, these are things you should bring in the first place. We call it managing our expectations. And then some maids, I would say, they become, when a mother is really, really good to them, they become so comfortable, and they feel, oh, because I've seen my boss is seated, I should also sit. If I see her put her feet on the table, then I should do the same thing. No, manage your expectation. Tell her what you expect out of her. You need to have your boundaries, the do's and don'ts.
Okay.
Much as I love you to bits, but these are your limits. And we at Home Aids, we tell you, that is not your home. Much as this person is very good to you, you have strictly gone to work. Like anybody else, I mean, any other company. Even if your boss is too good to you, you don't have to come in office at 10.
Right.
You know, so you don't cross the boundaries, know your expectations, have a proper code of conduct, and know exactly these are my limits.
And clear rules.
Very, very clear rules. We at Home Aids, we have the clear rules. We really, really emphasize professionalism, and that much as it's a home setting, but it is not your home.
Right.
You have gone to work. So do whatever has taken you, and then leave.
Okay, let's get to a point where worse gets to worse. You're good to this nanny, you've done your due diligence, you've brought them there, you're paying them a good salary, because most of them say that I will mistreat the child, or I won't perform my work well because I'm being paid peanuts. So you've done everything as an employer.
Yes.
All the do's, you've done them. But it gets to that point where you come and realize that this nanny is torturing your child. What next? What next? How, before even you get to know that, what should you always look out for, number one, in your child, just for you to notice if this child is okay or is going through a hard time or being tortured, so to speak? What are the signs, that telltale signs that mothers need to be always keen on a day-to-day basis?
That one is a little bit tricky, and the signs keep differing with ages. I would talk of toddlers. I once had a maid who was torturing my baby. So whenever I would leave home in the morning, she would normally stick by the door. She would hold the curtain, and I would wonder what's going on. So one time, I actually didn't go. I just stayed at the back. And then my baby wasn't talking, but I would realize that whenever I'm leaving, I say bye to her, then she just goes and holds the curtain. So I just said, let me watch this girl and see what's wrong. Not actually far away from home, I heard her scream at my baby. Your mother has just gone. Why don't you keep quiet? Being that it was a toddler, and then I actually encourage mothers, really, much as the baby is not talking, but try and understand your baby's trend. These little children really communicate. So you will see the child, my baby got so withdrawn. Whenever I would come back home, really so quiet, would never look forward to seeing me. So that's when I realized that, oh, there's something funny. So until I heard the noise in the house, I'm like, hey, I've got to come back. Like, so I asked her, what is the problem? No, I was telling her, like, how do you shout at her? She's such a baby. She doesn't even understand. Could you? No. Well, then I realized that something has been funny. And then the other thing is that these children, by the way, especially the ones who can't be able to speak, will tell you.
Right.
They will say, auntie does this, auntie does that. Then the ones who don't talk get a little bit withdrawn. Before you know it, the child falls sick. You go to hospital, you can't find. There's nothing. They keep saying infections, but they're not infections. Actually, they are stressed. So mothers should be very, very keen not to apply syrup all the time. The baby has a temperature. The baby has maybe a little bit withdrawn. They're not always sick. They're trying to communicate, so try and find out why. I would still give an incident of myself. Whenever I would travel a lot, before actually I leave, my baby would develop a very high temperature, just out of the blue. a very high temperature. They'd be like, what's wrong? So I had to change. I wouldn't leave my baby home. Then I would take her to my parents' house.
Okay.
And then she would be very okay. I'd call, is baby okay? Yes, she's okay. But at home, she would develop a very high temperature. They'd be like, what's wrong? So those are the little signs you have to look at. And you're like, okay, something is funny.
Okay.
But usually when mothers come back, oh, they tell you, oh, baby has been sick. She hasn't fed today. She hasn't done this. And like, maybe let's go to hospital. No, it's not always a sickness that you have to go to hospital. You have to apply syrup. You have to really find out. And then the other thing, I kindly request mothers, please be part of your home. Be part of your home. Much as you won't leave your job, but at least spend time with your children. They will tell you everything, young as they are. They will at least communicate.
So be part of your children's lives.
Be part of your children. I always, actually for us at Home Aids, we always encourage mothers, please, please. Even if you're not part of their life, but even let the siblings be friends. Not all the time watch TV, not all the time go to auntie, go to auntie. No, don't go to auntie. Probably you could be having an older sibling. Go to your older sibling. Let her also do the nanny work. Look after your children as well. Because if your nanny is gone, you won't feel it so much because there is already a relationship between the siblings.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's look at signs that we also need to look out for in these nannies. Because, you know, like you said, when they come, they're all good,
Yes.
jolly, happy, professional. But with time, things start to change.
Yes.
So when these things start to change on a negative, you know, angle, whereby you now feel like things are going wrong, what are these things that you should always, you know, look out for? The red alerts. Because most of the times we see this, but we assume, maybe it's that time of the month, she's just moody and stuff like that. What should we look out for?
Well, that one is quite difficult because we normally say first impression is last. Most of these nannies, you would see her actually if this person won't work. You look at her attitude. The moment she walks in the house, look at, because children are very innocent, immediately, oh, there's a new auntie, there's a new person in here. What is her response? And then the other thing is that in case of she's made a mistake or you're trying to blame her or anything, what is her reaction? She spoiled something, what is her reaction? Because attitude matters a lot. And then the other thing, like you said, with time, ask yourself, why has this person changed? Probably I need to check myself as well. Because they don't change out of the blue. You can't find that. These are humans, by the way, the nannies especially. They're really, really people. You will find that this person works 24 hours. True. 24 hours. They don't get rest. Between you and me, you know, anybody needs a rest. But once these people are in there, they just work. And some mothers would not realize that. Like, I've paid you my money, you have to work. Not knowing that they're actually humans like them.
Right.
So with that, the person starts withdrawing slowly by slowly. That's when you hear cases that they started torturing, they're not performing anymore, but they're actually tired. So you have to look out for all those signs because it doesn't have to be the nanny only, but even you, the employer.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. There's this other thing whereby most mothers are afraid of confronting the nannies when they go wrong because they're afraid, I'll confront you today, tomorrow I have to go to work. I'm afraid if I confront you, then you end up torturing my child. So what's the right way of confronting a nanny? Just correcting them if they go wrong?
The best way, I think, would be handle it as at when. For example, today I have broken a glass. Don't wait for the plate to break. Don't wait for the cooker to get broken. You say that day you did this, you did this, and then everything piles at the same time. Handle it as at when. And then the approach, how are you telling? I'm not saying that, oh my God, you babysit them. No, tell, hey, you did this and this and this and this. And that's it. See how to handle it. And then when you confront them, actually, how do you confront them? Because you can say confronting somebody, but then even tomorrow, the other day, and then it will be, it will be a song. So confront them clearly. You don't have to say, you see, somebody told me. You're the boss.
Right.
You have to tell her exactly, you did this, this is your wrong, and you're in the wrong. And then if the person, that's when I told you, look at the attitude. How do they perceive it? Would they become moody? Would they bring their attitude? Then you'll know, oh, this person, at least I've got to know. Because with time, that's when you're able to discover somebody's character. But then don't wait for everything to accumulate at the same time.
And also it's in the how you do it.
Exactly.
Don't shout at them. Sit them down as grown-up people.
Exactly, as grown-up people. Because they understand. Don't treat them like children. They'll understand. Because once you treat one thing I know I've come to really appreciate is that a nanny will stay at a premise if you're really, really understanding them and treating them as humans.
Okay.
Take it as a job, because like any other employer, of course, if you have your manager who is always on your case, it is going to affect your performance.
Right.
But if you know your expectations, your do's and don'ts, my clear boundaries, why wouldn't the person perform?
True,
Yes.
true. Let's now look at their welfare. We've already said that you should employ someone from 18 years and above,
Yes.
do your due diligence and all these other things. But when it comes to the obligations of the employer, it's 18 years old, get someone 18 years old and above. But how about their salary? How about their off days? How about their welfare in the home? What are these other things that employers don't take dearly and seriously and end up affecting their relationship with the nannies? How much should a nanny be paid ideally?
Excuse me. Most employers really don't look at the monetary aspect of it. This person works Monday to Sunday, from January to December, and this person at the end of the day expects some money. Some don't actually pay in disguise that I'm keeping the money for you. Yet, forgetting that these people also have their own needs. They have responsibilities, probably where they came from.
Right.
So how do you expect this person to meet their personal obligations? So in the end, you're forcing them to steal, you're forcing them to sell household items, you're forcing them to do all funny behaviors. If you are able to pay somebody's salary on time, that would be very good. About the amount of money, I can't really say much, because it depends on one's income. I can't tell you that you have to pay this person so much. Of course, look at the household, look at your levels of income. Don't bring in somebody, don't raise somebody's expectation that, you know what, you've come, I'm going to give you 300,000. Yet actually, you don't even earn it yourself.
But ideally, how much roughly? What's the lower limit on the lower side?
The lower side, really, at least 150. At least 150
Per month.
per month.
That's a live-in?
Yes, a living. That's at least 150. And on top of that 150, kindly, every month, we request, give them 2 days off. 2 days off to just go and relax.
2 days off in a month?
Yes, 2 days off in a month, especially for a living. Live out usually work Monday to Saturday and Sunday on call. But a living at least 2 days in a month. Those are usually weekends, especially when madam is home or when you have some relatives who have come to visit. At least there's somebody to help out. But we request a day off, because, I mean, even if it's any other job, you're given leave days.
Right.
So why not this person?
I get you.
Exactly. So they are humans. They need, much as you need that time of work, they equally need the same. So why don't you do it for them as well?
Okay.
I'm telling you, if you have all that in place, it is very less likely for somebody to leave, though they would still leave. Because for us at Home Aids, we ask somebody, how long do you want to work with us? And they'll be frank, I'm only here for only 3 months. And that's it. And they work for 3 months. So we don't force somebody to be on a job they don't want to.
Let me ask you, you help busy women to
Yes.
get the right fits for their, homes in terms of help. So if there's a nanny or a mother watching out there and they want to get to you, what are the cost implications for getting a nanny through an agency that trains, that does the due diligence, that does all these things? What are the cost implications? Because I know it's a bonus for the mothers, getting someone who's already trained, someone who you don't have to go down to the village to do due diligence on. What are the cost implications? Let's start with the mother.
With the mother, you depending, because with Home Aids you have quite a range of services. It depends on what exactly you want. We have general housekeeping, those are the usual maids. We have childcare, somebody who's specifically going to look after children. We have maternity nannies, specifically to look after mother, a nursing mother. We have the elderly care. We have people with disability. So it depends on what exactly you're looking out for. But if a mother out there who is actually just looking at a general house help,
Yes.
a live-in especially, our costs are 350, which is paid on a monthly basis, depending on the contractual period with us, because you have to sign a contract with you and with the aid as well.
So the mother pays 350
to the company,
the agency,
yes, to the
every
agency.
single month.
Every single month.
Over
yes.
and above that, do they have to pay for
Not
the
at all.
salary of the nanny?
No.
Okay.
It's us. With us at Home Aids is that much as we do a placement at a mother's home, but the maid still entirely remains our employee.
Okay.
Meaning that we have to make sure we follow them up. Not only just making a placement at your house, but you have to make sure, is this person okay? Because we have a job description. Are you really meeting your expectation? Are you really working to satisfy your employer?
Right.
We really go through a lot. I mean, if this person has fallen sick, we have to make sure all the time, if you have a contract with, there is a person on board.
Okay, so meaning you're the ones to pay the salary to the nanny.
Exactly.
Okay,
yes.
all right. And in terms of the nannies getting to you, people who are jobless, who are passionate about doing these jobs, how do they get to you? And when they get to you, what's the process like? How do you refine them moving forward?
Like any other job, first of all, we advertise, we call in for applicants from the local papers, the radios, social media, name it. So whoever is interested, they just come. We even have walk-ins. They just have to come in, bring in, they do apply like any other job. You have to apply, attach your national ID, it's a must. You need to have an LC letter, you need to have of course, an application, your references, all that. So we have to screen them by the, not that you've come in office today, then tomorrow you're making a placement. No, we have to go through a thorough interview because some people do lie a lot.
Interesting.
So we get to know actually. We can have, we usually have about 100, but eventually we end up like remaining with only 30 girls.
So it's a real job at the end of the day.
Yes, it's a real job and we're handling it professionally.
Amazing, that's nice. I'm happy to hear that people have to go through the normal, rigorous application process before they're taken in.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming in studios. Your last remarks to mothers watching out there?
Mothers out, actually, not only mothers, even fathers. In fact, it's more fathers who come to office. I'm kindly requesting, please to come to Home Aid Services and test our service. We're very legit company, very professional, and you won't regret. You won't regret, especially when you're having a professional nanny.
Thank you so much, Bukenya.
You're most welcome.
Thank you so much for coming on. We all needed that information. At least you can breathe a sigh of relief as mothers. That has been the discussion today. Morning at 10 TV still continues. Up next is Take Note.